For more on what to do on days like today, here's Kourtney Gibson, president of Loop Capital Markets, and Karen Finerman's back with us. She's the president of Metropolitan Capital. Folks, welcome. Good to have you with us. Kourtney, what have you been doing in your portfolios that you run over these past couple of weeks?
Well, so at Loop Capital Markets, we actually don't run portfolios, but we trade on behalf of large institutional investors. I obviously invest my personal capital in a way that would likely be a little bit different than most, just given my time horizon. So for me personally, I actually have been adding to my portfolio names that I do believe are sound companies, good leadership, and that likely are going to weather this storm, because I do believe the markets, I mean, we have very resilient markets in the U.S. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so if you have conviction around names, or you feel names are more battered than maybe they should be, I think it's a tremendous opportunity for you to pick up on those names or add to positions that you might already have in your portfolio that have been hit. Tyler, I do want to touch on really quickly, though, the debt component of this, because I think that is and also very, very important. And when you think about whether or not a company has the ability to pay their debt, it's really that debt service. And so I really don't want folks in the market thinking that it is a tremendous amount of bankruptcies that's going to happen. Really pay attention to whether or not the companies have the ability to pay that debt service. And if you focus on that, you'll understand kind of the companies that may be in trouble versus those that don't. So I think paying attention to the bond market is key and keen, and I think there is a discerning piece between those companies that can do that and those that can't, and you want to kind of stay close to those companies that will be able to weather this storm in both the equity and the debt markets.
And when you say pay the debt service, it's just like an individual paying the mortgage, right? If you have the ability to do it, you're in good shape. If you don't, you are basically in arrears or in default on the debt, right?
Exactly, but it takes a while for that to happen, right? And it's not as though you have to pay that entire debt load off. So when you talk about municipalities and the airports, or even the airlines, we can talk about Delta, which I added to my portfolio very recently. They have the ability to cover their debt. So their debt to income ratio is, or debt to EBITDA ratio is actually one that I'm very comfortable with, right? You don't maybe want to invest in those companies that you are concerned as it relates to the cash they have on hand.
Karen, you're a cool cat, and I want to ask you how you stay calm when everything seems to be melting the way it did today, and how you turn yourself inside out and buy things like Alphabet and Anthem and Target when everybody else is running from the building.
I know, it's hard. I'm not a cool cat at all. I just really, I'm faking it completely.
You look it.
Oh, well, thank you.
Sure you are.
Thanks, Kourtney. I would just want to echo a lot of what she says. I mean, you know, there's this saying that I didn't create, but I use it all the time: buy when there's blood on the streets, even if it's your own. And I can promise you, there is plenty of my own blood in, you know, plenty of red in my portfolio. But just like Kourtney was saying, buy companies that can withstand, you know, that can continue to pay your debt. I'm a long-term investor, and I'm not levered, and so I'm gonna continue to buy companies that have great balance sheets. And we have, looks like, a lot of overlapping holdings. But I'm, you know, something like a Google has one of the greatest balance sheets ever in the history of the world. And so I think this is a company that will survive. I am the only thing I'm certain of in this crazy market. If you look, we were up 1,000, down 1,000, net. Nothing happened in the last 2 days, but it surely felt pretty nauseating. The only thing I'm sure of is that I will not pick the bottom, and I can't try to do that. I'm not good at it, and I won't be successful. I just have to be out there buying a little every day. But the scariest thing I did today was selling some of my puts that are my protection.
All right.
You know, that's scary and hard to do. And just when you feel like, oh, I got to hang on to them, that sort of makes me think, you know what, time to just sell a little.
But it takes discipline for both of you, I know, to add when everybody else is going the other way. It's like the first responders running into the building when it is aflame. Kourtney Gibson, Karen Finerman, thank you very much. Great to see you both.
Thanks, Tyler.